We're talking about how to make homeschool more fun, and you're now in the series of adding board games to add more fun and flair into your day. If you did not see the Why Board Games video, I'm going to encourage you to circle back and to go see that because we have a tendency as homeschoolers to look at things like board games and to deem them less important than a math lesson, a science lesson, etc. So I'm going to encourage you to understand the why, which will help you fully embrace the what of the board game. This is one of my family's favorite board games. When I was 21, I worked in a toy store called Imaginarium, and the whole premise of that store, it was a high-end toy store, which eventually got absorbed by the Toys R Us chain, which is now all online. But our whole premise was allowing kids to experience the games inside the store so that they could fall in love with them, so the parents could see that the kids loved them, and then they would make their purchase and bring them home, and it would become a family favorite. And so we were trained up. I was a certified toyologist and I loved it. It was so great. One of the first games I learned how to play was Taboo, and I learned how to play it at that Imaginarium store. And we actually would have game night for the employees, and then we would take it to, you know how libraries have a read aloud time? We'd have play game time in our store. It was a really fun place to work. Taboo is a word game. It really appeals to language oriented kids and it really chatty children. I would stereotypically say that girls love this game more than boys, but that's just because we win. So, anyway, Taboo is super fun. And the way that the basic premise is that you are examining different ideas about a word. You're trying to get your teammate to say the word. So, if I pull up the word blade, you can't see that. You're on my team. You can't see that, but I'm trying to get you to say the word blade. But I cannot say skate, knife, sharp, switch, or grass. So I have in a determined amount of time, I have a little timer that I have to give you clues to get you to say the word blade. So someone is sitting there willingly and happily with a timer or a buzzer so that if you accidentally say some of the words, you you get buzzed. But for in that time, you get to go through cards and you get to try to get people to say cologne without saying any of the keywords fragrance, aftershave, smell, scent, perfume, etc. And at the end of your time, if your team guessed the words, you get a point for each card. And if they didn't, then you don't get you. I don't know what the actual rules are anymore. We've played it so many times. You either lose points or you just don't get points for the cards. This is super great for language development. But for homeschooling, you can also use it for story prompts where you pull cards out of the thing and say, okay, we're going to write a story using these words. And so you can use this as the basis of the actual story prompt. And then the kids have to incorporate these words into their story. Now, don't make it boring. Use a whiteboard or use dry erase markers on a window, or tape a piece of paper underneath the table so that they have to work upside down. Games should always be fun. And to even raise it to another level, if you're going to use it as a writing prompt, you hold the pencil, you have the piece of paper, let the kids talk to you, and then you be the secretary. So, developing language skills long before kids are trying to write paragraphs or essays or abstracts for white papers or whatever they're going to be writing. Developing their language is so important. It's actually part of the three no-nos for writing. And there's a video in the descriptions where I did a thing on the three no-nos of writing. But the idea is that for any piece of writing that you do, know your audience. Who is it for? What is the purpose? to entertain, explain, inform, persuade. Why are you doing this? And then specialized vocabulary in order for you to clearly communicate. Because one of your homeschool goals, if it's not, you should consider taking one of our homeschool goals. One of our homeschool goals is that our 5 sons will grow to be excellent communicators on both paper or typed, written or orally. And in order to be an excellent communicator, you need to tailor your language to your audience so that your ideas are not only heard but received. And so, any activity that you can do with your kids when they're younger, where you can infuse fun, but you're developing their language development, is secret sauce in education because you want your kids to speak clearly. You want them to be able to express themselves. Most people only use a very small vocabulary. And you want to teach your kids that you're never trying to talk over people's heads. That's where the know your audience comes into play. But you also want your communication to be entertaining is the wrong word, but it should have just enough secret sauce added into it. You should use the right mix of words that you captivate your audience as you're talking to them or as you are communicating to them on paper. And so developing language is an extremely core homeschool foundational thing that I recommend that you spend a lot of time working on with your kids. The younger they are, the more you should do things like play word games. And you can play, this is one of my favorites. So, this kind of game, Scrabble's a fun one. If your kids are spellers, it's a fun one if they've learned to spell. Otherwise, you can make up words or pick words from their reading or from the game, and they can pick the letters out and put them on the board. So developing their language is actually a it's almost a critical need in our society because people spend so much time texting or emailing that they don't perfect the art of communication. And so our kids need to nail it. They're homeschooled, so they're already going to be kind of prejudged because they didn't go through traditional school. So we want them to be, they don't necessarily need to be eloquent, but they should be articulate. They should be able to have a conversation with a wide variety of ages and stages of development, and they should be able to express themselves creatively. And so, Taboo is one of those really super fun games that can help naturally infuse our kids with vocabulary words where it's like, wait, I never thought about how grass would be associated with blade. Now, why did I say that? I have 5 sons, and in my backyard, we have a tomahawk throwing target. In my front yard, we have an archery target. They shoot arrows, throw knives, and throw axes. So blade doesn't make me think of grass. Now they're all safe because their dad's a safety fanatic and is just a good, strong person, fun. So it's super fun. Always done with safety. So as you are developing communication, these types of cards, so just randomly, I'll pick a couple more. They're color coded. One side is blue, the other side is pink, and one of them, one side is more challenging than another side. This is my one of my favorite cards. I just randomly picked it in my. It's fun when you're playing with family or people that know you because you can say bumbershoot, and in my house, kids will say umbrella because in that old Disney movie, Aristocats, the 2 hounds, one of them sits up and goes, "Where's my bumbershoot? Somebody stole my bumbershoot." And it's an umbrella. So anyway, it's fun to develop language in a fun, friendly, giggly way. Friendly competition. You can play whoever captures 10 cards wins, whoever captures 29 cards wins. Let's play for half an hour. Let's play through this playlist of songs and work on developing language. So I will be talking about another game in the next video. I hope that you are enjoying this. Um, be sure to subscribe and to hit the bell so that you don't miss the next game. And I'll see you then.